Hello and welcome everybody to English Center. Happy to see all of you smiling faces once again. This is Humayun Kabir. Today I'm going to talk about how exactly you can speak English fluently. Stay tuned. Speaking English is not a big deal when we see a peanut seller can speak English.
Excuse me, sir. Just listen. If you don't mind, would you like peanut? Would you like peanut? Do you like peanut? Do you like?
A rickshaw puller can.
How did you learn English?
I'm long time they working, they buy rickshaw only for foreign people.
Yeah, but how did you learn the language? How did you learn English? Who taught you?
You know, the many country people stay Bangladesh. Somebody they speak English, I'm catching. Then after I'm talking only for mouth.
A street child.
This is what? This is Simtori?
This is Simtori, 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers from here.
Or even a beggar can speak English.
Give me £1, please. I am hungry. I am woman. He speaks English. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Good night.
But when an officer misses his promotion for poor knowledge of English, when a fresh doesn't get a good job for the lack of spoken English, when a student gets less marks in presentation at university, it becomes a great deal in life. So I'm going to give you super 10 tips and tricks, and if you follow, I guarantee you will be able to speak English fluently. Tip number 1, willingness. The first and foremost important thing to be successful in any subject or any field in the entire world, that is your willingness. You have to think yourself as a winner. By birth, absolutely, you are a winner. Anything is possible if you just want it once. And this mentality, this power will reach you anywhere you want to go, anything you want to do. So speaking English is not that much difficult thing like to conquer the Mount Everest. Hundreds of thousands of people all over the world can do a task, and you want to do that. So suddenly you can do a task what 400 million people all over the world can do, and none of their native tongue is English. So if you want to speak English, definitely you can. Once I asked one of my adventurous colleagues, what is the necessity to go on Everest on foot in the 21st century? They can take a helicopter and they can go there. But what my colleague said, that is outstanding. He said, going to the Everest or going to any other mountain, we do not conquer the mountain, rather we conquer ourselves. We take a target, and if we can fulfill it, then we become satisfied, we become happy, we become confident. This is the theme to conquer the Mount Everest. Similarly, you have to take a target that within 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, I will speak English fluently. You have to take a target and you have to stick to that task. And if you do this, definitely you will be successful. Tip number 2, change the way of learning. How are you learning English? In our country, the common practice is English means learning some grammatical items. For example, you have to learn tense, parts of speech, word change, narration, etc. etc. When you want to make a sentence, so many things come to your mind like subject, verb, object, subject, verb, agreement, noun, adjective, adverb, so many things, and you become puzzled what to say, what to do. This is totally an unnatural way of learning English. The natural way is what you want to say, ask somebody who can speak English and say that. For example, you want to buy an ice cream. Now, what to say? You can say, could you give me an ice cream? Could you give me an ice cream? May I have an ice cream? Can I get an ice cream? Please give me an ice cream. An ice cream, please. Or simply, an ice cream. So spoken English is related to saying, not learning grammar. Tip number 3, don't struggle to make correct sentences. Try to express yourself. A very common tendency of our adult learners is they do not want to make any kind of mistake while making sentences. Ultimately, they struggle to form sentences. And while they are searching for appropriate word, appropriate structure, they become measurably slower in communication. Sometimes they become totally silent for a while, and it creates a gap between the speaker and the listener. Remember, communication is important, not your correct sentences. If you take too much time while talking to somebody else, then people will lose their patience to talk to you. So don't bother about just the correct sentences, rather try to focus on your communication. Try to express yourself spontaneously, continuously, naturally at what comes in your mind. Never change the direction. Try to say that. That is very much important. Even if you can't use appropriate word, appropriate structure all the time, it is not a matter. So I repeat, communication is important, not the correct sentences all the time. Tip number 4, expose yourself to English. If you really want to learn English, you have to expose yourself to real English. A very common tendency in our country in the name of teaching English is they just teach you some translation and some grammatical items. And believe me, with that poor English, you cannot go anywhere. Don't misinterpret me. I love grammar. I'm a guy of grammar. But only grammar cannot teach you anything. If you want to learn standard English, you have to be a very good observer. You have to observe how the natives talk, how the natives express their feeling, etc., etc. So you have to watch TV, you have to watch movies or YouTube or music with lyrics, etc., etc. YouTube can be a very good source of your learning because YouTube can give you a lot of varieties. For example, if you just watch BBC, you will learn a very standard English. Only 2% natives use BBC standard English and 98% people use their colloquial English. So YouTube can give you a great variety of English. For example, British English, American English, Canadian English, Australian English, Asian English, and even Indian English. But when you speak English, try to follow either British or American. Only these two are standard. So remember, how much good observer you are, that much good speaker you will be. Because speaking is totally related to listening. Read English newspapers, journals, magazines, or novels, or anything but in English. Read English every day at least 10 minutes and definitely with meaning. This will increase your vocabulary automatically. Write a page every day. If you cannot write one page, then try to write some sentences. If you can't write some sentences, write at least one sentence every day. And day by day, try to increase this practice. Do it continuously and definitely it will give you the progress. Tip number 5, avoid formal English in conversation. Formal English is appropriate in office, in TV show, or while doing presentation at university. But when you are talking with your friends or in a casual place, it is very unnatural to use formal English in that situation. So try to use slang or any other conversational expression what you have learned watching YouTube or watching movies, TV show, etc. Tip number 6, create imaginary situation. It is very difficult to have a good partner to practice. If you have a partner, you are lucky enough. But if you don't, it doesn't mean that you cannot learn English. Create imaginary situation in your mind and try to think what will be the conversation. For example, if you have to give a speech on your college reunion or university reunion, then think what you will say. And before going to the dais, what people can ask you and what will be your answer. Another thing, take 10 topics and make a lottery, select one topic and speak 1 minute at a stretch. You can select the topic by taking the current affairs. For example, amendment of quota system in Bangladesh, women harassment in bus, child abuse, upcoming election, or any other easy topic it could be. For example, how to make a cup of tea. Take the topic and speak 1 minute at a stretch. Remember, what you are saying, that is not important. You can speak English 1 minute, that is important. When you can speak 1 minute easily, extend the time please. It could be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then 1 hour. Remember, it is very much helpful if you do not have a partner to practice. Tip number 7, record while talking. While you are talking to somebody else, record your speech and later on you can listen to your voice and you can find out your mistakes. What grammatical mistakes you have done, what pronunciation mistake you have done, or how much pause you have taken while you were talking. It's a great remedy, especially to develop your pronunciation. Tip number 8, join different groups. There are lots of groups in Facebook and also in other social medias. You can join that groups and you will find similar minds. All of the people are trying to develop their English. And when you will find lots of beginners, you will be enthusiastic to practice English. Tip number 9, don't feel guilty if you commit any mistakes. It is very natural as a beginner you will commit some mistake, but don't feel guilty when you commit some mistakes. Actually, sometimes some people react such a way or laugh at you such a way that you feel guilty that you should have known the matter earlier and you become shy. Here, I can give you a very good remedy for this. And I'm sure, not 100%, 1000% sure that it will work. The people who laugh at you, believe me, they are not good at English. They are not expert in English because an expert will never laugh at you. They know very much that how much troublesome to speak in a foreign language. The people who are laughing at you, they are definitely a little learners. So take a revenge on them. I'm giving you a very good tip. That is, first of all, you will say that I'm very much weak in English and I want to learn English, please help me. Then you will ask them some very difficult questions of English. If he or she can answer the question that day, then make another list of difficult questions for the next day. And next day when you will meet him or her, then ask them the question. If you do it 2 to 3 days, then definitely they will not laugh at you, rather they will avoid you. And this way you can treat the little learners. Last but not the least, tip number 10, go to a good teacher. It's true, if you are determined to learn English, you yourself can develop a lot. Still, if you want to be perfect, you need a competent teacher. For example, Saqib Al Hasan is the ranking #1 cricketer in the world. Still, he needs a coach. Similarly, if you want to be professionally perfect, you have to go to a good teacher. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions or any other idea about spoken English, please let me know in the comment below. Those who have subscribed to my channel, I'm grateful to them. And those who didn't, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you like the video. If you do not like, please let me know in the comment below. I will try my level best to overcome that. Finally, be a better human being and do something for the humanity. Bye-bye.